Hi there! Welcome to Becoming the Self-Led Woman podcast. My name is Monica, and this is a weekly podcast for modern women in which we will explore different topics such as self-leadership, personal growth, financial empowerment, feminine wisdom, all sorts of things that help us understand how can we navigate nowadays as a modern woman. You can think of it as a coffee chat that you can have with an older sister. So here I am as your older sister, that I am sharing honest, supportive, practical insights that can help you create the life that feels more aligned, more empowered, and really more heart-led and authentic. This week, I'd like to bring in a very, very beautiful topic, which is rituals in our daily lives. As a student of Awareness Facilitator School, which is a school by my very dear teacher Satya, where we learned about modern therapeutic practices combined with shamanic wisdom, I learned how rituals and ceremonies can be really, really powerful when it comes to setting an intention, creating groundedness, and reconnecting to what truly matters to our hearts. These are things that can nourish our hearts and fuel our minds. So, what is the definition of a ritual? A ritual is about intentional action that we do where we bring in our presence and an intention. So, let me ask you a question. How intentional are you in your daily life? How present, for example, when you're doing house chores, when you're running an errand, when you're taking a shower, cooking, doing all sorts of things. How present are you? Because many of us, we carry our daily lives with a set of to-do lists that we try to finish as soon as possible. So we are usually like, oh, this is done next, this is also done next. But when we bring in intentionality and presence, it can really transform our daily lives. And instead of feeling drained with all the things that we have to do, with all the responsibilities, all the tasks, ritualizing it can actually help us feel more grounded and also more energized. So, for example, I often didn't like to do house chores, and sometimes I still don't like to do it. However, when I try to clean my house, for example, when I try to clean my room, let's say, if I do it by setting the intention that, oh, I want to cleanse the energy, I want to renew the energy of this room, and at the same time, I feel so much gratefulness for this house to have me here that I want to do my best to maintain it by cleaning it. And whatever does not serve me anymore, let's say that in my closet I have clothes that I don't use anymore, then I can take them out, be grateful that they served me before, and then set the intention that, oh, I hope that these clothes now can make other people happy, can make another woman happy, and then simply give it away. When I give a meaning, when I set an intention with what I do, my heart and soul feels more recharged, feels more nourished. And when I am grateful, for example, for my house, for my room, I am really creating this energy around me that is filled with gratefulness, and that in my mind now I feel more positivity and remember the blessings that I have in my life. Because sometimes we can be so caught up in our daily lives that are often in a hurry with lots of stressful things to finish, that the moment we shift our minds and our attention from all this stress to all the blessings that we actually have, we bring ourselves back to the present moment, And we also appreciate it more and it elevates our mood. And for example, when it comes to self care, you can put on a face mask, you can take a long bath, but if you can bring in this intention, this mindfulness, this gratefulness, and this intention really of I use this face mask to nourish my skin, to nurture myself, and I am noticing how good it smells, the scent, and then how good my skin feels afterward. And then if I take a bubble bath, let's say, I am enjoying it, I am relaxing. I set this intention to allow myself to rest and relax and to enjoy all the sensations of a warm bath, as I am grateful that I can do this. And for example, many of us, we forget about our achievements. We downplay what we achieved. And we are always focused constantly on the next thing to achieve. But how many of us paused and actually look around and realize that, wow, am achieving all this? For example, for a long time, I rented my own place after a divorce. And there were moments that I paused and realized that, wow, I am so blessed that my salary as I work in IT can really afford me of my own place. And at that time, one of my apartments that I rented didn't have a bathtub, but I actually bought a portable one. And then I was able to enjoy the bubble bath that I love so much. And then I just paused and I remember that, wow, it's actually amazing that I worked so hard and achieved a lot. And even the circumstances, it might not seem necessarily as ideal or as we want to be. For example, right now I am living at my parents' place because I had to go back because my previous landlord he needed the house back because of all the infiltrations that we were getting. But then because the rent in Portugal is really high right now, so I cannot really afford to rent a house comfortable anymore. But I am so grateful that I can still be with my family and that I still have the opportunity to work towards having my own place one day again. So, one of the favorite rituals that many successful people they love doing is actually in the morning as soon as they wake up. They think of, for example, 5 things that they feel grateful for in their lives. And because their energy doesn't shift into this survival mode right away of, oh, all the stress, all the million tasks that we need to do, but actually stay in this abundance, stay in this gratefulness of their blessings, the energy that they carry around, it's much more abundant. Therefore, they resonate with abundance in their life. So they attract opportunities. So let me ask you again, how intentional are you living your daily life? So there are different kinds of rituals. There are the daily rituals that we can do, and there are, for example, the more occasional ones, let's say weekly or even monthly. For example, setting new intentions of what we want to manifest when it's new moon. And then in the full moon, setting the intention of what we want to release, of what does not serve us anymore. These can be very powerful rituals. And you might have heard a lot about manifestation techniques. And I can tell you that manifestation is really not that complicated. And it all starts with the openness towards possibilities and feeling the excitement of what might be possible. This spark of exciting, delicious desires that you might feel in your heart, even if it is small. So, for example, during new moon, imagine that you're in a new moon day and you are thinking, okay, how do I do this ritual of setting new intentions that I want to manifest? The fact that you are already thinking and trying to wonder, oh, what can I manifest? You are already opening your mind, opening your subconscious to what might be possible to dream of, and fantasizing, daydreaming, and really going to the details of how you might feel. Like, for example, if you might have a project or you might want to travel to a certain place, and you imagine yourself there, you imagine all the sensations, like how does the weather feel like in that moment? How do you feel the moment you step out of an airport? You are already opening your mind to possibilities, and those are little seeds of manifestation. Then, in full moon, let's say that you want to do a ritual where you let go of what no longer serves you. Let's say that you are troubled by a certain work relation that really stresses you out and you would like to change it. Then, even if you don't know how to do so in real life, the moment you set the intention to say that I let go of all the stress that no longer serves me, the moment you say it, you speak it, is already opening your mind towards this possibility. And that can set things in motion, even if you don't realize it consciously. You are already changing something, you are already starting the shift. So, rituals, they really ground the intention that you bring into the action of what you do during the ritual. And all those feelings of excitement, of possibilities, and of gratefulness, appreciation. For example, when you are washing the dishes, like, oh, I'm so grateful that I can bring this food on the table, that I have dirty dishes to wash, and that I want these dishes to be so clean so that it can serve the next person that uses these dishes, even if it's yourself or a loved one, friends that you invite over, family. When you set the intention that, oh, I want the next person using these dishes to be really well served and happy, you are also changing the energy within you. And now your heart feels more love, feels more nourished, and you feel more energized. So we often think of rituals as, oh, this grand ceremony, so formal. But rituals can be in our daily lives, they can be small rituals as well. So this week, I'd like to invite you to think of 3 things, or more if you like, of what you can actually make it a ritual that you can bring in intention or gratefulness and appreciation. And even if you just think of one thing that you can ritualize in your daily life, give it a try and see how you really feel about it. For example, the simplest thing is have a notebook where you write down 3 things that you are grateful about your life currently. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode and really allow yourself to have a little bit of fun and appreciate the sacredness of your daily life and bring in more presence and intention to the moments of your life.